All right, my dear listeners, today would be episode number 2 from the series 8 After 8. 8 entrepreneurs after achieving 8 figures before being 40 in Germany. All right, picture this. This is the story in the Guy Ritchie style. You have this guy who standing in the court. He is the CEO of multi-billion euro company, and he is getting this sentence from the judge who is saying, now you're getting a fine for 80,100 euros because, as judge put it, the penalty must be noticeable. This guy is Tarek Müller. And this is not just, how would you describe it? Not just a guy who is not obeying to the rules in the real life. This is the guy who built a multi-billion dollar empire with About You, the e-commerce brand. He not only do it in real life, but in business life, he was the guy who breaks the rules. And I found 3 the most counterintuitive lessons, which came from his road, from his way to get to his first 8 figures before being 40 and put in this. In this episode is going to be very interesting. So let's not waste time and let's go into it. And today I will tell you a very interesting story. But before that, I want to say thank you to our sponsors, which would be Creator Economy Agency which helps Germany-based businesses to launch your business in the US on pay-per-result model. If you're interested, you have the link in the description. Mag Deutsch, the School of German Language, and NGO Viter, thank you very much for sponsoring this podcast. I'm Bogdan. I'm on a journey to hit 8 figures before being 40. On this pod, I'm learning from entrepreneurs who have done it and inviting you along for the ride. Enjoy. All right, so lesson number 1, forget loyalty, build obsession. So here is the truth that Tarek knows, but other e-commerce brands just ignored. Loyalty is a fiction. People don't care about your brand. People don't care about anything else. If your competitor tomorrow will give a €2 or $2 discount, they just will move to them. It's not about building the loyalty, he said. It's about building the obsession. He wants people to be locked within his brand, but not because of some metaphorical ideas, but just because it was so convenient. And here are 3 things he was focusing on to destroy everybody else in the e-commerce world. So check this out. So three tactics. 1, a hyper-personalization. So every click, every scroll, every abandoned cart, it's all was fed into the system, making every interaction uniquely tailored for each user. So making basically your homepage of the store same as you will have at Netflix. It was really personalized for you. That's number 1. That's why it was convenient. That's why it was like getting home to a degree for the customer. Second of all, gamification. So he said the loyalty wasn't just about points and discounts. It was built on the experience. He tried to kind of make the shopping experience the equal gaming experience. He didn't just implement the loyalty points as you can get at any supermarket. He created the game customers want to play. He had milestone-based perks, for example, or shopping triggers. He implemented all of it to build this gamification. That's number 2. Number 3, effortless returns. Instead of seeing returns as losses, he thought people will trust me more, but also people will be locked without the store. Leaving wasn't an option for them. It just doesn't make sense for them. Not just emotionally, not just brand-wise, but logically. While his competitors were putting money, as it usually is in e-commerce, in paid ads and burning them and try this ad, that ad, change a bit of meta setting here or there, he was investing money into making the experience so convenient for the people. So convenient that they just wouldn't leave. And already from reading other articles about Amazon, I'm finding a lot of similarities. So Amazon is also a lot about customer and customer-centric experience in the first place, and then everything else, design-wise or ad-wise, or how you build a store, or how you build relationships with the vendors within your marketplace, etc. Lesson I learned here is if you think your customers are loyal, you're lying to yourself. They're only loyal to the best experience they can get. So your job isn't to earn loyalty. It's to make living feel impossible. All right, so lesson number 2. Build chaos into your business. So if you have ever met the entrepreneurs in real life, you could distinctly define these two types of entrepreneurs. One would be the people of the system, people who want to build a system, who have a spreadsheet, who is very good at Excel, who are very good at, creating org maps, mind maps, every other type of maps. They just like it. That's in their blood. And you have these other guys who are more extroverted and like to creating chaos around them, but they're the ones who, to a degree, create value. So Tarek is exactly one of them. He is the chaos guy. And he says, and this is one of his quotes, most companies fear chaos. They want predictability, they want stability, they want clearly defined roles. And Tarek, what he did, he engineered the company to be unpredictable. And here are 3 examples of how he did it. First of all, he didn't have a separate IT department, although this is e-commerce, this is software online thing where you just need to have somebody to fix it, to work on it, to make it better. He didn't had it. He had this team he called techies, technical guys who were working directly on customer-facing projects. That's one thing. Second of all, constant team shakeups. He didn't let people work on the same project for a long time. He wanted to mix up teams in order to keep people engaged. And this is one of the practice, by the way, while I was working on Accenture, this is exactly what they did. They have this matrix structure where you don't sit in one project, at least in sales. You don't sit in one project too long. You get mixed up, you play with different players, meaning co-workers or colleagues, on different projects, sometimes simultaneously. That's how you can, you never get bored because projects change, team change, and this also has its cons. For example, it's hard to, build deep relationship within one team. But on the other hand, you have this expertise which is flowing between teams and team members. You always know that, all right, within our team in this project, you don't have the person who is specialist in some technology. But I know from other projects there is another guy who we can at least partly pull out and get and plug in. So this is exactly what he did. Third example, cascading app failure reporting. So each failure on the website, which happens from time to time, it's not just getting buried in a backlog of the IT team, by the way, which, as I already mentioned, doesn't exist. It gets reported upwards fast so they can be fixed before they snowball, meaning the CEO will get the reports of the failures of the website. He will get it, he will see them, and that's why they will get fixed, because they cannot just be buried somewhere. And yeah, it sounds messy. It can sound messy because it is messy, but that's the whole idea. Controlled chaos. This is how Tarek Müller did it. Controlled chaos. This is how he did it. Controlled chaos. This is how he did it. While traditional companies were stuck in endless meetings, he was already 5 steps ahead. So the lessons I got from it: most companies fight chaos. The best company build chaos. If you want to scale fast, you can't be too structured, too rigid, too slow. You have to be agile, you have to be adaptable, and you have to be willing to burn the old playbook every 6 months. And the third lesson: never play defense, always attack. The most founder play not to lose. They defend their position. As soon as they got something, they just defend it, defend their money they have, they defend the market share they have, position they have, protect it. And Tarek was and is working vice versa. He plays to win every single time. And here are 3 examples. For example, he wasn't never competing on the price. There were competitors which were cheaper, but he was changing the shopping experience. Instead, he was investing into how people interact with his business. Instead of competing on brand, he was competing on the gamification, on the personalization. Instead of chasing the trends, he was using influencer and tech to create new trends before everyone else could do it. He wasn't about just being slightly better. He was about being different and play the game from different angle, redefine the rules of the game. And that's why, while a lot of e-commerce are getting lower and lower margins, getting pressed to the bottom from the profit perspective, Tarek being able to build a multi-billion e-commerce brand about you and scale it across Europe and build this amazing empire. So the lesson I got here is, if you're playing defense in business, you already lost. The only way to win is to constantly attack with better system, faster innovation, and a willingness to break things before any. So here is what we learned from Tarek Müller today. Forget loyalty, build obsession. Chaos isn't a bug, it is a feature, and never play defense, always attack. Tarek didn't just build about you, he built a new way to think about business, to work with business, to be this chaos master within business. Now, question to you, my dear listener, how do you manage chaos within your company? Are you the one who tries to structure it, or do you embrace it and make it one of the strengths of your company? Let me know, and see you next time.